Outtakes. And take 5. Yes, it really was take 5. We've got Microsoft Whiteboard. It's appeared in preview, and it's going to give us a more collaborative experience in whiteboarding. We've got a rename of first release to targeted release, and what the heck happened to Technet. This is Office 365 Message Center, the week that was. Yeah, it really was take 5. Really was take 5, and I should probably take a sip too. Hey, we've got Dan Glenn here, and this is the Office 365 Message Center, the week that was. Oh, what week was it? It was October the 7th, right? 3rd. Yeah. So, the drill. We run through the Office 365 Message Center, and we look at various things that have been happening during the week and talked about in the community, things that may not have appeared in the Message Center as well. And of course, we'd like you to like and subscribe and continue to tune in to this live content. So, Dan, excuse the rain.
Hello.
This is my summer rain that's coming on through.
Summer? Where are you at? Oh, you're back in Auckland.
Yeah, back in Upside Downville, the Upside Down. Do you watch Stranger Things?
I don't actually.
Oh,
strange. I haven't seen it.
Okay, you're missing out on something.
Oh yeah,
you must wear the T-shirt though. So sharing things. I
actually had sharing things on yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is Daniel. I'm coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee, the home of the Music City Bowl, which is December 29th. That is a college football game. And this year it's a bowl game between Northwestern and the University of Kentucky.
I don't know why. I started to imagine a bunch of people get into a bowl and playing country music at each other hard out, and it was like this big gladiator kind of battle royale thing going on. No, you got a serious face. I think I'm way off. Hey, so we've got a few things to talk about, as we do. But as a general comment, what do you think of the messages in the Message Center this week? What going on? Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's start off with that first one. Here we go. Right. So we've got a major update. Cool. So that's telling us that the major update, the first release rename, that's generally available. That has started. And we were wondering about that, weren't we?
Yep.
We'll come back to that one. But our one at the top or bottom, the first one that came in the week, was a roundup of Microsoft Teams updates, the November update. And we were talking about this. Teams gets its own monthly update.
Apparently they they get a monthly update for November. And there's another point to be made here, is that this is a post about something that's already happened.
Post.
These are posts these are items that have already been added to Teams, and they have their own thing. So my question is, okay, so do we get a monthly roll up for Planner or To Do or any of the other services? I don't see them. We see new features come out for when they come out for SharePoint, for OneDrive. Major things for Exchange, but we don't. I think this is the first time I remember seeing another product outside those three where we get, here are the new features, and this seems more like a blog post, than it does something that we normally see in the Message Center.
So we did see things announced throughout, which were things like the PowerShell module that's arrived in Teams, new usage reports. So it very much is a roll-up. But like you're right, the other major platforms, Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, etc., don't get their own roll-up. I guess there's so much going on with Teams that there feels to be a need to remind you and roll it up within the roll-up.
Oh, you know what? I actually have another idea on it, and it just came to me. We know a certain person who's been added to the Microsoft Teams team, and maybe she brought some, hey, we need to be in the Message Center more often. I know those guys in the Message Center.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's kind of wink, wink. I'm just playing, but
Yep.
yeah. So this is I don't know.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. Well,
Yep.
it is of use. If you have missed some of those other announcements, those other messages in there, then at least this is a roll-up. But yeah,
Yeah.
the question is, will we see a roll-up of a roll-up with other platforms? So we'll keep moving along. We've
Okay.
got OneDrive for Business sync tutorials now available. So this is helpful because there have been some changes to OneDrive Business, and this is, I guess, it's almost pushing through a way of making people aware of what those changes are and providing it in the form of a tutorial. Have you gone through that tutorial?
I have seen the tutorial that they're referencing. It really is talking about. Well, I guess it says that right there. It's talking about getting the user kind of used to using OneDrive rather than assuming what the person knows what OneDrive for Business is. Kind of walks them through adding documents and such. I'm okay with. I like the tutorial. I like the idea of it. Whether or not this belongs in the message center, maybe. I'm not saying no. It's a maybe because it does change the experience for users. So, for new users, so when they see it, they, what is this thing? But I don't know.
Yeah, it's user experience. And actually, as we were just saying this now, I had thought that it was just, here's the new experience for OneDrive Sync client within the For Creators update. But this is really a tutorial for anyone who has just joined Office 365 or they've just been onboarded. Here's this really vital tool, which they say is the new Windows Explorer for the cloud, that gives you access to your files in various places. It's really important. We'd like to introduce you to it using a tutorial. So yeah. Oh well, that's good. That's good. And it's more than just talking about the new client. So that means there will be a variation in the experience, don't you think? Because some people won't have Windows 10 Full Creators Update.
Right. Yeah, I think if you don't have the OneDrive Sync client, and you're using the old Groove, then you're not going to have that. Yep.
All right, moving on up. New service or app. This is our Whiteboard Preview. And I've seen a couple of other MVPs and even a couple of people from our team discuss the new Whiteboard Preview. Now, this was talked about a little ways back. Certainly, I think education were quite excited about this coming, and they had some early private previews in there.
Yeah.
My immediate comparison, so I read about the Whiteboard, and it is a collaborative place to start to work together. It is an app that's part of Windows 10. If we click on through to additional information, because that's what it's for.
Gotta click it.
Yeah, clickety click. I did watch the YouTube video. Oh, okay, it's not actually in this article. This is telling you how to set it up. You get on into your services and add-ins within the admin experience, and you turn it on. It's available to all these plans. But what was it? I wish I had the link kind of handy. Maybe we'll return to it. But what they were saying is that the significant difference is between that and OneDrive. OneNote.
Yep.
Is that your pens and stuff are down the bottom. So if you're going to be exposing this on any kind of interactive board, it's just down there, just like with the Surface hubs.
Right.
You have workspaces where I could jump in and connect to it from my Windows 10 device, and it is truly in real time. Now, you and I were talking about that juddering kind of experience with OneNote, where we might be connected to the same notebook, but there's syncing things that happen occasionally.
Yeah, and it's not real time in OneNote. It's pseudo real time in that you could see someone typing, but then sometimes you can't. So, all of a sudden it'll go, here's a whole paragraph that person wrote, or here's a bunch of stuff that they added. And so it's not truly collaborative like you would have in Word with co-authoring or something. There's that syncing going on. So If Whiteboard provides that experience where it is real time, that would be, I guess, an improvement over OneNote. But it sure does sound like OneNote to me. Is there is there a video component to Whiteboard?
No, what I've seen so far is it's inking, it's photo stacks, so you can upload photos and they can just stack a bit like you can see in Sway. You can move
Sway.
objects around, right? So you can circle objects just like you can with OneNote. But if I think about it, OneNote and OneBoarding has been I guess a stand-in for this whiteboarding experience. But now that it's real time, and from Windows 10 devices, I expect it to be a better experience for, let's say, you and I trying to ideate and get some things up on a whiteboard to figure out a problem or a solution.
Yeah.
Now, one further thing, maybe if I just push through on this theme of, well, where else could this fit in? Wouldn't it be great if it was an app that you could add as a tab within a team or a channel? It's all part of that same experience rather than just being a separate app out there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Moving on up, we have...
Ta-da! And it's got a nice graphic. I love it. They put pictures in there. It's helpful for me.
Ripples.
I like a picture.
Yep. So that is first release gets renamed to targeted release. Now I wonder about the trouble that the name first release has given Microsoft in the past. That I'm on first release, but I haven't got it. Why haven't I got it? I'm first, right? And it gave this expectation that when something was released and it was notified within the message center that I need to get it and I need to get it now on the day that you announce it. Whereas there was always this, sometimes there was this period, wasn't there, that this is going to be rolled out to first release over a period of 2 or 3 months and then it's going to be generally available. Now we're calling it targeted release. Should take away some of that first expectations?
Maybe. First release meant it was first before general, but people, exactly what you're saying, assume that, it's first release? Okay, then I have it. Oh, I don't have it. Why not? Well, it's because you're in the East US 2, data center in the back. You're on that server in the back, and so it started in the front, and so yeah, I mean, I even was doing that. It's like, wait, I don't have it. Give it to me. I need to. So, will it alleviate that? No, I don't. It's not going to alleviate that. It's
People
just
will
maybe
still say I want it,
right. But maybe if you because they're calling it target release, it's like, I haven't been targeted yet, or some. I don't know. Maybe that'll help that perception. I think there was other confusion too, around targeted release and then targeted person, or I'm sorry, first release and first release select users, and like it just I don't know if this clears all that up. It was confusing to people. They didn't understand what first release meant and how that related to them and why their neighbor got it and they didn't yet. So
I don't think there's anything different to note in this announcement except that it's changing names.
Right.
There will still be the targeting. That we are rolling it out to those who have said, yep, me first, I want to be in that targeted group or that targeted wave, and they'll still have waves that they gradually release things.
Yeah.
And then say, is this okay? Right, no, let's pause it on that, or let's keep going.
Yeah.
But with that, let's keep going. Not too much more to say about that one.
Nope.
But it is major, I guess. Message center translation. If you've chosen your language to be English or Cantonese or Spanish, then the message center is going to be in that language and you won't need to click a translation button. Although, what does it say here? That there will be still something there that you can use to change the translation if you need to?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and I think this is actually a good update for those of you that have set your admin center to a different language that, or that you have selected a different language for yourself, being able to, instead of having to do that yet again in the message center, it automatically doing that. And I like it. But it's if you set it to Spanish, for instance, but you still want it in English, you still have that translation button to translate it. But
yeah, and this perhaps affects more teams that are multi-global. They've got admin teams that access the admin center, and let's say that the tenant has been created in an English-speaking country, but it also needs to be translated into French or German or something like that. Yeah. So I think it's I have the expectation that with this globalization or global regionalization of tenants, when I can have my data in my country if I've got a tenant, and that sort of piecing, I would hope that based on that, if I'm an admin, it would find the language that I'm using within my browser and change that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, monthly feature updates for Office 2016 and Office 365.
Oh, so that must mean there's a lot of them, Daryl. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so.
Well, there's your monthly roll-up, kind of.
Yeah. Well,
Not
but
really.
let's see how is there any new Excel features? I like Excel. Tell me there's something awesome
Feature
about
updates.
Excel.
Okay, well, first of all, we'll go through to the technet.microsoft.com announcement. Now, keep that in mind.
Okay.
We're going through to technet.microsoft.com,
Okay,
and here's our monthly updates for Office 365. 4K, export to 4K in PowerPoint, a bunch of non-security updates. In other words, we've fixed some stuff that was broken. Same for Skype for Business and Word. Word gets a new feature.
Word?
You'll be excited about this one.
Okay.
Character
Which
count.
one is it?
Character count is now going to be in your status bar, so you know exactly how many characters you have typed. You don't have to click a button to see that count. Would you find that useful?
There is a time when I would craft Twitter messages in Word, and I haven't done it. I don't think I've done it recently, but doing things like spell check, because frankly I'm a horrible speller, and doing kind of just queuing them up, kind of writing multiple ones and just kind of understanding that. So I would write one and make sure the character count was right, and then I'd, take it and save it off or whatever. So there was a
You did have
there was
a
a
use
need
case
there,
for
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
and
a
so
use
when you
case for it,
select
but-
a block of text, it'll show the character count for that selected
that's
text, right? So that's useful. And now that you've got twice the characters in Twitter, you've now got this. You're at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Oh, you're getting close to those characters. We're changing from yellow to red to you got 20. Maybe if you need to plan out your character count, that's kind of useful. But we are coming to the end of the year. There will be a slowdown of things that are going on, and I would say this is just a reflection of that. We've got some stuff to tell you. It might not be massive, but it's still a change, and maybe we should just add that in there.
Right. And speaking of massive
So
change here,
where did we find this article again?
we found it on Technet.
Yeah.
That's been around forever, so it's gonna be around forever, I think.
Oh yeah, it will be actually. Now sort of moving on. What have we got here?
What's our next?
Oh, hang on. What? We're moving Technet to docs.microsoft.com.
Oh.
So that article we just looked at won't be in Technet anymore?
What are we gonna do, Daryl?
Well, I'm going to do what I always do. What do you always do? Do you go to Technet to search for stuff, or do you...
Yeah, so this is a problem I have with finding information that Microsoft publishes. I don't have my thought isn't what are the new features in SharePoint 2016 or whatever. I don't go to Technet. I don't go to Tech Communities directly. I don't go to Docs. I don't go anywhere. I go other than a search engine. I go to a search engine, type in my question, and then I find the information. So now that we're saying that Technet is going away, basically, this is what this is saying, is that all the content from Technet is going to be moved over to docs.microsoft.com, not to be confused with docs.com,
Thank you.
which no longer exists. So, I don't really care, I guess, where it lives. For me, this announcement is just big, and that Technet has been around forever. Not forever, but a very long time. And really was when I did do that search and I saw a result that said Technet, then it was official documentation, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you knew when you clicked on it, you were going to get the official word from Microsoft. And so now they're moving it to docs.microsoft.com, which is more of a let's all make it work kind of deal, not just Microsoft, I guess. And so it's, and you were saying, maybe this is a kind of reflected of the times of being in the cloud and things changing so fast, right?
Yeah. Look, so the main difference I see between a Technet article and a docs.com article is that the docs.com article feels more like a chatty blog post. There is still some definite structure in there telling you how to do stuff and things that have been announced. And they've also got a structure in terms of how they break down a topic, which they do within Technet. But it does feel, more personal. And does that take away from the official feeling of that information? It's still going to be curated and looked through and predominantly created by Microsoft. But we are seeing and hearing more of that content being created and managed by the community, much like a wiki.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We've been using, and you mentioned Wiki, we've been using Wikipedia forever. I don't know how long that's been around. And a lot of people take it as being a source of information. But you go into any English class, and any teacher, any professor worth their weight is going to not accept Wikipedia as a source, because Wikipedia could be edited unless it's a major item that has a flag on it to where any edits are reviewed. Anything can be edited and changed, even if it's fixed later. When you take that snapshot, hey, look, it said it at this time. Well, yeah, it's because you put it in there.
Yeah.
So will we get into a position where docs will be the same way? I don't know. I'm not saying it will. I really don't know how it's going to work right now. But, those kind of thoughts are what's coming into my head when I see this. That's all.
Yeah, I think that just to begin with, it'll keep going the route of Microsoft creating those articles that'll still feel that more friendly, chatty way of creating this information. There'll still be the comments down the bottom, and there'll be various people that'll be able to come in and add content to that. But I think we've been talking about this for a little while now, when we think of cloud and things that are always changing, that it has been a huge struggle for Microsoft to get themselves into, they've had this continuous updates concept going with software and with cloud and rolling things out, and this is what the Message Center is all about. But documentation always lagged, and it was really difficult to make sure that it was up to date, or even released at the right time, or actually captured all the scenarios. So now that you've got more pairs of eyes on it from a community that can say, hang on, that's not right, this is how it actually operates, that's going to be useful, but it will still need to be cross-checked for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could be totally useful for things like I go in and say, this has been updated, and maybe there's a process for someone who owns that to accept my update or something. I don't know. I mean, I think it would be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it works out for them.
Yeah, let me just bring up the article. I'll have a look at one here. So I've got a massive landing page with everything that's been added. And look, we've got our office as a topic. Admins or professionals and developers, so that's still the audiences that they're looking for. Support.microsoft.com still crosses the boundaries of IT professionals and people who can service themselves and say, well, how do I do this? How do I use this feature within Microsoft Teams, for example?
Which plays right into my. It's all. So what goes into support? What goes into docs now? Are they in two different places, and why would they be there? I mean, what goes into tech community? I love tech community, but all of this is getting. I mean, it's confusing already, and now we're moving to this, which I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be the complainer. Sorry. Just I'd like to see more about this than what they've said so far. That's all.
Yeah, clicking on through to Teams, we've got your structures of how to get started. You get sort of
which I think
journey from
Teams would
Scope to
be here.
Teams.
Looking at something more. You know, what about SharePoint 2013 or
Good test.
stuff like that? That is so SharePoint Server.
I say I was covering that. Let's shift ourselves to the other side of the room. We've got SharePoint Server, PowerShell references, and stuff for developers, into server, tickety tick booms. Watch yourself.
2013 and 2016.
So of course, it's pointing through that Technet.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. So it's like
for now. For now.
Right.
For now.
Yeah.
Breathe. Yeah, you'll see that structure, and it'll come through into docs.com, of course. But yeah, that's your official word. Don't know if we could say much more than that, but you said like one thing that it's significant because Technet has been around with us for so long. It's been that trusted. I can see that in the URL. This is going to be trusted information because Microsoft has said it. Even though sometimes Microsoft get it wrong with their own products for a little while before they get those corrections. So what else? Let's just see. There was one other announcement which we had.
Trust Center change.
Trust Center change. These are good in the sense that they are being open about what's changed. We have a new contractor. They have access to this. So we're being open and forthcoming about that.
Right.
That's really all these Trust Center announcements are about. Nothing to do. Just the info's out there. Now, let's switch over to some discussion around one thing that you observed or heard about. I think you were at SharePoint Fest Chicago when this was brought up.
I was actually, and I'm sporting the shirt, I guess.
Nice.
Shirt, yeah, sure. So I was at SharePoint Fest Chicago, and I was... I need to share my screen. Can I share my screen? Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Can you see me? Can you let me know? Can you see it?
Yep, I've got it.
Okay. Session was about installing the on-premises data gateway to be used with Power BI, Power Apps, and Microsoft Flow. And so part of that session, I go from downloading and installing the gateway, okay, all the way to using it. So I walk through the whole process of installing it and then configuring it to, creating connections to my local resources of SQL and SharePoint Server on-prem, and then using those in the cloud. Well, so here's the page you download it from. You click the button down here. And it's download the installer and it works. The problem is when I went to install it, it says, oh, by the way, you need .NET Framework 4.6. Do you want to install that now? Well, I'm doing a live demo, so I say yes, because if I don't, then I can't do my demo. So, I kind of move on and say, we'll let that sit there. But what really burned me, though, is if you look at the requirements, it says 4.5. Here, I'll even zoom in and I'll circle it so everyone can see. So
that's not the Whiteboard product now, is it? What did you use there?
This is Zoom It, or whatever.
Yep.
So 4.5 is listed, but 4.6, and they just updated the gateway with some nice features like high availability and stuff. So that's great, but I'm going by what the requirements and what my experience has been, so this is one of those things that change, frequently in the cloud, and this hasn't been updated. So,
well, hey, it's in docs.microsoft.com, and look, when you hover over that paragraph, hover over that again, look at the far right, you've got a little comments icon there.
Hold on.
There we go, click on
We're
it.
gonna do
Are you
it
logged
live.
in?
Probably not.
Live
This
fire.
is, I'm talking about a demo going wrong, and then
Yeah.
I'm about to demo something. This is
Yeah,
bad.
that's right.
This is so bad. So I'm not going to wait on that. But
No, you're not, of course. But that's the purpose of docs.com. And
So-
get that kind of feedback.
Yep. So I got the gateway. I got 4.6 installed. The gateway installed. Well, I went through the gateway installer, and then the gateway installer gave me an error. It said there was an error. Click here to find out why you got this error. And that led me to a page, and a friend of mine named Drew, and I think we've talked about Drew on here before, he took a picture of me in the screen because it was quite humorous. So here's the post. Yeah, that's me. It led to a 404 error page with 404 as big as my body. I mean that thing, it's huge.
It's made for presenters. It's made for you.
is.
Getting it
was
wrong
made-
in front of an audience.
Yes, get it wrong, and here it is. So I was like, wow, this is fantastic, everyone. And so I not only did I get hit by the .NET Framework version, but also by this bad link in the gateway. So I just wanted to kind of point this out that really this is just I'm sharing my experience with you. Really the thing I wanted to share is the new gateway does require .NET Framework 4.6, not 4.5. Hopefully this documentation will be updated soon.
Yeah,
but,
well, you can do your part and make that comment
that's
after
right.
this
I'll
call.
make it. We'll see what happens.
So that actually tied in nicely, didn't it, mate? This crazy experience, this full page 404, and then you can use docs.com to tell people about it.
It was
Cool.
It was fantastic.
All right.
Yep.
Well, let's sort of round us out to the end of the show. Thank you very much for joining us on Office 365 Message Center the week that was. Please like and subscribe. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/regarding365. Yeah, I've been working out how to do a nice exit screen so that we can actually point in the right direction. I think let's just point to the middle here. Right?
That way?
That way. Yeah, I'll drop it in there. Yeah. Good. And yeah, we'll see you again. Do we do a show next week? We'll do one more show next week.
Yeah.
That'll be our last one before Christmas.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Sweet. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Catch you again soon. Bye.